मिलकर लड़ते हैं और इकट्ठे घर जाते हैं।
हमारा साथ देना चाहता हो वो आगे आकर खड़ा हो जाए।
जंगी ला रहा था। तो मुझे क्यों ले आए?
तो मेरा दोस्त है।
मिस्टर की-हुन,
जंग भी कहाँ है?
प्लेयर 456 अपना वोट डालिए। अगर आप 3 की गिनती पर आगे आकर वोट नहीं करते हैं तो आपका वोट नहीं गिना जाएगा। 1, 2, 3, क्योंकि प्लेयर 456 ने अपना वोट नहीं दिया है, इसलिए इसे नहीं गिना जाएगा। प्लेयर नंबर नंबर 448 अपना वोट डालिए।
हम तुझे खा नहीं जाएंगे।
हाँ, इसलिए जो मन कर। अरे चुन, दूसरों की टेंशन मत ले, शांत मन से सोच और
तेरे प्लान का हिस्सा था ना। कुछ लोगों को अपनी बातों में बहला फुसलाकर क्रांतिकारी बना लिया और जाके उन बेचारों को मरवा डाला। क्यों?
तो ये सब चिल्लाना।
ये हमें काफी अच्छी हालत में मिला है ना। ये इसकी तरफ से हमारे लिए तोहफा है।
मेरा कमांडर तुम्हारी ही तरह था।
Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you the full story of Squid Game Season 3 in very simple English. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. The story begins 1 year after the end of Squid Game Season 2. The world still doesn't know the truth about the deadly games. The rich people who run the game, called the VIPs, have cleaned up all the evidence. Most of the people who played the game are gone. But one man is still alive, Gi-hun. Gi-hun is not the same man he used to be. After winning the game in Season 1, he didn't spend much of his money. His heart was full of pain and anger. He tried to tell the police about the game, but they didn't believe him. He had proof, but it disappeared. The front man, the masked leader of the game, was always one step ahead. In Season 2, Gi-hun followed the people behind the game. He went to other countries. He learned that Squid Game is not only in Korea, it happens all over the world. In Season 3, Gi-hun comes back to South Korea. He is ready for war. Gi-hun has grown stronger. He has changed his hair again, this time it's dark and short. He dresses simply and keeps a small notebook where he writes down everything he knows about the game. He wants to destroy it. He wants to stop more people from dying. He gets a secret message on his phone. It says, "The game is starting again. Location, Busan. 12 new players. Come if you want answers." Gi-hun knows it's a trap. But he also knows he must go. He packs his bag and leaves. In a secret place in Busan, 12 people wake up inside a strange building. The room is white, cold, and empty. The doors are locked. Cameras are everywhere. The new contestants are Jun, a poor student trying to save his sister; So-yeon, a mother with huge hospital bills; Tae-ho, an ex-soldier with PTSD; Juri, a nurse who lost her license; Daesung, a kind old man with gambling debts; Hana, a shy girl who doesn't speak much; Young-jin, a rich man who lost everything in crypto; Miran, a single mom and factory worker; Dong-ha, a loan shark in trouble; Sun-woo, a quiet and smart man with a secret past; Kyu-jin, a teenager kicked out of school; Hae-jin, a woman who once escaped the game before. None of them remember how they got here. They were all given the same card, the one with the circle, triangle, and square. They are scared. Then, a voice comes from the speakers. "Welcome. You have been selected to play 6 games. Win all 6 and receive 45.6 billion South Korean won. Lose, and you will be eliminated." The players gasp. Some think it's a joke. Others start to panic. Chapter 3, Gi-hun's return. But something is different this time. Gi-hun is not a player. He is on the outside, watching. He hacked into the game system with the help of a young hacker named Seo-jin, who wants revenge for her brother's death in Season 2. They have found a way to see the game's cameras. Seo-jin works from a van parked outside the game zone. Gi-hun wants to stop the game from the inside. "We can't just shut it down," Seo-jin says. "We need proof. We need to show the world." Gi-hun nods. "Then let's get it." Chapter 4, Game 1, Red Light, Green Light, again. The first game begins. Just like Season 1, it's red light, green light. But this time, it's much harder. The robot doll is faster. The area is bigger. There are fake hiding spots that explode. When green light is called, players run. When red light comes, the robot's eyes scan harder than before. People start falling. Some scream. Some freeze. Out of 12 players, only 8 survive. Jun helps So-yeon, who falls and injures her leg. Tae-ho uses his army skills to avoid the traps. Hae-jin looks around. She's seen this before. Her eyes are full of fear. From the van, Gi-hun watches and shakes his head. They've made the game deadlier. Chapter 5, The VIPs return. Meanwhile, in a dark lounge with golden curtains, the VIPs return. They sit in masks and drink wine. One VIP says, "I thought Korea's game was cancelled." Another laughs. "This is a special edition. Fewer players. More drama. And a surprise guest." That guest is Gi-hun. The front man enters. He is still in his black mask. But there's a new sadness in his voice. "Our past winner is back. Let's see how far he gets." But what the VIPs don't know is, Gi-hun is not here to play. He is here to destroy the game. Chapter 6, Alliances and Secrets. The 8 survivors return to their room. They are scared, hungry, and confused. Tae-ho tries to become a leader. "We need to stay calm," he says. "Let's work together." So-yeon agrees. She trusts him, but Dong-ha, the loan shark, says, "You trust no one here. Everyone wants the money." Jun and So-yeon form a friendship. He reminds her of her son. She tells him, "I want to see my child again. That's why I must survive." Hae-jin talks to no one. She keeps to herself. But she hides a sharp metal piece in her sleeve. Chapter 7, Game 2, The Glass Maze. In the second game, players face a huge glass maze. There are 2 paths, one with strong glass, one with weak. Step on the wrong one, and you fall. The twist. The room is full of fake mirrors and lights. It's hard to tell left from right. One by one, players try. Daesung, the old man, falls and screams. Kyu-jin cries before jumping. He picks the wrong tile. Gone. Only 6 make it through. Minutes. June guesses right by watching the light angles. Taeho uses a broken shoe to test the glass. Haejin walks slowly, watching everyone's fear. At the end of the maze, they are dirty, shaking, and quiet. Chapter 8. Gi-hun's plan. Back in the van, Seojin says, "We need to leak this footage." Now, Gi-hun stops her. "No. If we leak too early, they'll shut everything down. We need the final proof." He decides to enter the game facility using an old worker's uniform. He'll pretend to be a masked guard. Seojin warns him, "If they find you, they'll kill you." Gi-hun nods. "Then I'll just have to be careful." Chapter 9. Inside the game, Gi-hun enters the facility. Everything is the same: pink walls, strange halls, numbers everywhere. He wears a mask and acts like a guard. He delivers food. He cleans floors. But at night, he sneaks into the control rooms and takes photos of documents, faces, and player profiles. He sees a list: survivors, 6, prize money, 45.6 billion South Korean won. Next game, the Circle of Fire. He frowns. What is that? Then he hears a voice. "Hey. You're not one of us." Gi-hun turns. A real guard is staring at him. Chapter 10. Caught. Gi-hun stands face to face with the real guard. The guard's voice is sharp. "You're not from our shift. What's your ID number?" Gi-hun pretends to stay calm. "I just transferred from Jeju Division," he says. "They didn't update my tag yet." But the guard doesn't believe him. He grabs his arm. "Come with me," the guard says. Gi-hun knows he must act fast. He suddenly pushes the guard against the wall and knocks him out with a hidden stun stick. He hides the body inside a storage room. Gi-hun whispers, "That was close." Now, he knows he must be more careful. He changes his mask to a square, a higher-ranking guard, and walks deeper into the facility. Chapter 11. Secrets of the Front Man. The front man sits alone in his dark room. He removes his mask. His real name is still unknown to the players, but viewers know. He is In-ho, the brother of Detective Jun-ho. He looks at a small picture on the desk, a photo of him and Jun-ho as children. He whispers, "Forgive me, brother." Then, a voice in his earpiece says, "Sir, we have an alert. A false ID detected in the guard system." The front man frowns. "Search every room. If we have a rat, we kill it." But he doesn't know the rat is his old enemy, Gi-hun. Chapter 12. Game 3. The Circle of Fire. The 6 players are taken to a dark round room. In the middle is a giant metal circle with fire pits all around it. A voice announces, "Welcome to Game 3, Circle of Fire." The rules are simple. 6 players enter the ring. Torches are lit around the circle. One by one, players must pick a fire torch and toss it into a metal drum with fuel. If they miss, they are burned. If they delay more than 10 seconds, the fire spreads toward them. Minutes. June is first. He's nervous but throws the torch. It lands safely. He's safe. So-yeon's hand shakes, but she also makes it. Taeho, the soldier, shows perfect aim. Miran, the single mom, cries before her turn but makes it through. Haejin takes a deep breath and succeeds. Young-jin, the crypto man, laughs nervously. He throws and misses. Flames burst around him. He screams as fire surrounds him. The others cry and cover their eyes. Only 5 remain. Chapter 13. Breaking in. Gi-hun sneaks into the front man's command room at night. He places a hidden camera. Seojin, in the van, sees everything now. "Good job," she says. "Now we can record all the games." Gi-hun finds a file labeled Contestant 067, Haejin. He opens it and reads, "Survivor of previous edition. Escaped during Game 5. Recaptured. Memory wiped partially. Watch closely." Gi-hun says, so that's why she's so quiet. She knows the pain. He decides he must protect Haejin, no matter what. Chapter 14. In the dorm. Back in the dorm room, the 5 players sit quietly. They don't talk much now. The fear is stronger. Minutes. June helps So-yeon put ointment on her burned hand. She smiles faintly. "You remind me of my son," she says. "Smart, kind, and full of hope." Taeho watches them. He begins to trust them both. "Let's keep each other alive," he says. "We can't win if we fight." Haejin says nothing, but her eyes soften a little. Miran cries at night. She dreams of her daughter. Everyone is broken in their own way. Chapter 15. Visitors in gold. That night, the VIPs visit the players. Dressed in gold suits and animal masks, they walk around the room with guards. One VIP says, "Such beautiful suffering. Look at their eyes. They know death is near." Another laughs, "I picked the soldier to win. The nurse is too soft." The guards do nothing as the VIPs touch the players' faces. Gi-hun watches from the camera, furious. "This is more evil than ever," he whispers. He sends a photo of the VIPs to Seong. She begins to search their identities online. Chapter 16. Game 4. Shadows and Chains. The next game is cruel. Each player is tied to a long metal chain. The room is pitch black, except for short flashes of light every 10 seconds. A voice says, "You are all connected. One of you has the key. Find it before time runs out." The twist: if no one finds the key in 10 minutes, all chains will be pulled into a burning hole. Flashes begin. Players scream. They bump into each other. Chains tangle. Minutes. June searches fast. Hyjin stays low. Miran panics. Soyeon finds something, a glowing object. She shouts, "I found it!" But Tae-ho sees she's holding the key. He grabs it. "You'll slow us down," he yells, pulling it from her hand. He unlocks himself first, then helps Minutes June. The timer reaches 30 seconds. He frees Hyjin next, then Miran. Soyeon screams, "Help me!" But it's too late. The chains pull her into the pit. Her scream echoes for a long time. Minutes June falls to his knees and cries. Tae-ho walks away, cold and silent. Only 4 remain. Chapter 17. Cracks in the game. Gi-hun sees a change in the system. Someone is hacking the game from inside. He traces the signal, and sees it's coming from Hyjin's wristband. She has a secret tracker. But who planted it? He sneaks into her profile again. Subject under secret experiment. Memory restoration beginning. May become unstable. Gi-hun realizes Hyjin was not only a past player. She was turned into a test subject. They are watching her emotions closely. He decides to help her escape. Chapter 18. The rebellion grows. Seong finds 2 VIP names and leaks them online. She sends the files to reporters. Soon, news headlines appear. Billionaires linked to human game in South Korea. Masked killers behind giant prize game exposed. But the game is not shut down yet. The frontman sees the leaks and becomes nervous. "Activate lockdown mode," he says. No one enters. No one leaves. Gi-hun whispers, "Then I'll blow the whole place up." Chapter 19. Game 5. The Tower of Lies. The 5th game is psychological. Players are shown a giant tower with 5 levels. Each level has a door. Behind the doors are memories. The voice says, "Only truth leads to survival. One lie, and the floor disappears beneath you." First, Minutes June. He sees a room with his father, begging him not to leave school. He says, "I left to work, not because I didn't care." Truth. He moves on. Next, Miran. She sees her child, saying, "Why did you lie about working late?" She answers, "Because I was afraid I couldn't feed you." Truth. She passes. Hyjin walks in. She sees an image of herself, in a past game, laughing as others died. She screams, "That's not me. I didn't do that." The system says, "Lie detected." The floor cracks. She falls, but not all the way. A hidden net catches her. She is saved. Gi-hun had changed her floor system. Last is Tae-ho. He sees a child holding a toy gun. "Why did you kill me?" The child says. Tae-ho closes his eyes. "Because I followed orders. I was told to." System. Truth detected. He passes. But he's broken. Chapter 20. Final 4 now. Only 4 players remain. Minutes June, kind, smart, but heartbroken. Hyjin, haunted by a past she doesn't remember. Tae-ho, strong, angry, full of regret. Miran, brave mother, tired but determined. Gi-hun knows the final game is near. He whispers, "I have one chance to stop it all." Chapter 21. The calm before the storm. The 4 remaining players sit quietly in their dorm. No one speaks. The room feels colder than ever. Minutes June stares at the floor, missing Soyeon. Miran holds a tiny piece of paper, a drawing her daughter gave her before she disappeared. Tae-ho cleans a wound on his arm in silence. Hyjin sits in the corner, watching everyone with tired eyes. A voice comes over the speaker. Tomorrow will be the final game. Rest well. There is no rest that night. Chapter 22. Gi-hun's warning. That night, Gi-hun finds a way into the player's dorm. Dressed as a guard, he whispers through the vent near Hyjin's corner. Hyjin, you don't know me, but I know you. You were in the game before. They wiped your memory. They are using you. Hyjin whispers back, I see pieces. I don't know what's real. You must survive, Gi-hun says. If you win, they can't erase you again. She asks, who are you? I'm someone who escaped and came back to stop it. Chapter 23. Betrayal. In the night, Taeho doesn't sleep. He watches Miran and Minutes June quietly. He knows the game is almost over. Only one can win. Only one gets the prize. He thinks, I've done terrible things. If I win, maybe I can save someone else. In the middle of the night, he quietly walks to Miran's bed. He raises a sharp metal rod, but Hyjin moves fast. She jumps and pushes Miran away. The rod misses her head by inches. Minutes June grabs Taeho from behind. What are you doing? Taeho growls. Only one can win. The sooner you learn that, the better. Guards rush in and pull them apart. Chapter 24. The frontman's offer. The next morning, the frontman enters the dorm. For the first time, he speaks directly to the players. You have made it to the final round. You are strong. You are lucky. And you are chosen. He looks at each of them. Tonight, you will play the final game. One of you will walk away with 45.6 billion South Korean won. Then, he pauses. But if any of you want to end it now, take a vote. If 3 out of 4 choose to leave, the game ends. No one dies. But no one gets the prize. The room is silent. Minutes June is the first to speak. We've come too far. Miran nods slowly. I can't face my daughter with nothing. Hyjin says, we finish it. Taeho just smiles coldly. The game will continue. Chapter 25, Game 6. The final match. The 4 players are taken to a large outdoor arena. It looks like a playground. In the middle is a giant painted squid on the ground. Welcome to the final game, the voice says. You will play Squid Game. The rules are explained again, just like in Season 1. 1 player defends. 1 attacks. The attackers try to reach the head of the squid. The defender tries to push them out. But this time, there's a twist. Each player will fight one-on-one. Winners go to the final duel. And the field is covered in shocks, electric lines buried under the sand. If you fall the wrong way, you get burned. Chapter 26, First Duel. Miran vs Hyjin. The first fight is between Miran and Hyjin. They stand on opposite ends. Both look scared. I don't want to fight you, Miran says. I don't want to die, Hyjin answers. They move slowly at first. Miran swings a weak punch. Hyjin dodges. Suddenly, Hyjin kicks Miran's leg. Miran falls right onto a shock line. She screams. The shock isn't deadly, but it's enough. Game system says, eliminated. Guards drag Miran away. She cries, tell my daughter. I tried. Hyjin closes her eyes. Her hands shake. Chapter 27, Second Duel. Taeho vs Minutes June. This is a hard match. Taeho is bigger, stronger, and more trained. Minutes June is fast and clever. They begin. Taeho runs fast. Minutes June ducks. He uses sand to blind Taeho for a second. He tries to reach the head of the squid drawing. Taeho grabs him and throws him back. Minutes June hits the ground, rolls, and gets up again. He runs. He's almost there. Taeho jumps forward and steps on a shock wire. He screams and falls. System eliminated. Minutes June can't believe it. He won. Chapter 28, Final Duel. Minutes June vs Hyjin. Only 2 remain. The prize money hangs above them in a giant glass box. They stand in silence. Minutes June whispers, I don't want to fight you. Hyjin says, neither do I. But they won't let us both live. The front man appears on a screen. This is your final test. The last one standing wins the prize and freedom. Minutes June lowers his fists. Let's vote. Let's walk away. Hyjin's eyes are full of tears. Even if we vote, they will erase us. Suddenly, she charges. Minutes June dodges. They struggle. Hyjin pushes him. He slips. and lands on the line. Shock hits him. Not enough to kill, but enough to stop him. System eliminated. Hae-jin falls to her knees. She screams. WHY. Chapter 29. The end. The front man enters the arena. Guards follow. You are the winner, he says. Do you feel free now? Hae-jin doesn't answer. Suddenly, alarms go off. A second voice rings across the field. This game is over. Evidence has been sent worldwide. The truth is out. It's Seo-jin's voice. Screens all over the arena show news channels. VIPs are being arrested. Photos, videos, documents, all leaked. The front man shouts, "Who did this?" Gi-hun walks onto the field, unmasked. "I did." Chapter 30. Escape. Chaos breaks out. Guards run. The front man escapes into the shadows. Hae-jin falls, weak. Gi-hun lifts her up. "Come on. We have to go." He helps Minutes June too. He is still alive, barely. Explosions begin in the building. Seo-jin remotely triggers self-destruction. They run through halls, upstairs, past confused guards. They reach the outside. A black car waits. Seo-jin inside. "Get in," she yells. They drive away as the game facility burns behind them. Chapter 31. Aftermath. 1 week later, the world is changed. News shows play day and night. Squid Game exposed. Victims speak out. Winners tell their story. Hae-jin tells her story on live TV. She says everything. Minutes June starts a group for victims' families. Gi-hun disappears quietly. Chapter 32. A new mission in a small village. Gi-hun watches the sunset. Seo-jin walks up to him. "It's over," she says. He shakes his head. "No. It's just starting. There are other versions. In other countries. And other monsters behind masks." He opens a laptop. A map glows. Red dots in many countries. Season 4? Seo-jin asks. Gi-hun smiles. "Let's end them all." Chapter 33. The survivors after the chaos. Only a few players from Season 3 are alive. Hae-jin, the final winner, now speaks for the victims on news channels. Minutes June, though badly injured, is recovering and trying to use part of the prize money to help others. Gi-hun, the one who destroyed the game, is once again in hiding. Everyone now knows that Squid Game is real. Many people are shocked. Some say it's fake. Others demand justice. The police try to find the people behind the game. Some VIPs are arrested. But many have already run away. Gi-hun knows, the war is not over. Chapter 34. Messages from the dark web. Seo-jin is on her laptop. She tracks secret chats happening on the dark web, a hidden part of the internet where the VIPs used to plan games. She finds a message. New game. New location. Invitation only. Mexico division. 3 weeks. She shows it to Gi-hun. He sighs. They're moving fast. She nods. We need to go there. Before they start again. Gi-hun begins planning. We'll need fake identities. Cameras. Trackers. And we need someone inside the game. Seo-jin says. Not you again. You already almost died. Gi-hun replies. Not me. But someone who knows how it works. Chapter 35. Recruiting Hae-jin. Gi-hun visits Hae-jin, who now lives in a safe house guarded by police. She doesn't speak much anymore. She stays in her room and draws. Gi-hun shows her the Mexico game message. She looks at it and whispers, "It's not over." He says, "We need someone to go inside. Pretend to be a player. Send us live info. You're the only one who can do it." At first, she refuses. "I just want peace." But then she looks at a drawing she made, a picture of Soo-yeon and Miran. Her eyes fill with tears. "I'll do it," she says quietly. For them. Chapter 36. The journey begins. Gi-hun, Seo-jin, and Hae-jin fly to Mexico under fake names. They stay in a small, quiet house in the city. From there, they prepare. Hae-jin trains in martial arts and running. Seo-jin creates small devices, a camera in a hair clip, a tracker in a shoe, a mic in a necklace. Gi-hun studies the map of the city and learns the possible hideouts of the new game. One night, they find a card under their door. It's black, with golden symbols. Backside, "Welcome to the new game." Date and location, secret. You will be picked up at midnight. Come alone. Chapter 37. Into the shadows. At midnight, a black van arrives. Hyejin walks out in silence. She wears the tracker, mic, and camera. The guards check her ID and nod. A man in a red mask opens the door. Welcome. Inside the van, other people sit quietly. No one speaks. The van drives for hours. Finally, it stops in a remote jungle area, near old buildings and tall walls. The players are told to get out. They enter a huge underground base. Just like Korea, pink walls, strange tombs, cameras everywhere. The new Squid Game Mexico has begun. Chapter 38. Gi-hun and Seo-jin spy back in the city. Gi-hun and Seo-jin follow the GPS from Hyejin's tracker. She's inside, Seo-jin says. Now we watch. They set up a van with satellite screens and begin monitoring. Let's find their leaders, Gi-hun says. Chapter 39. Game 1. La Loteria. The first game is based on a famous Mexican card game called La Loteria. Players must draw a marching picture card from a pile while music plays. When the music stops, if they hold the wrong card, they are eliminated. It sounds simple, but the speed increases. The cards look similar. Some players freeze. One woman screams when she draws the wrong one. A cannon hidden in the wall fires a rubber bullet into her chest. Dozens are eliminated. Hyejin keeps calm. She moves slowly and listens to the rhythm. She survives. Chapter 40. Inside the new arena, the dorm is similar but dirtier than in Korea. The players speak Spanish, English, and Korean. Most of them don't trust each other. Hyejin listens carefully. She hears rumors about the Scorpion, a man in charge of the Mexican game. She speaks into her mic. Find out who the Scorpion is. Gi-hun replies, on it. Chapter 41. The Scorpion. The Scorpion is the leader of the Mexico game. He wears a red and gold mask shaped like a scorpion. He is cruel and speaks very little. Gi-hun finds a photo of him in the system. His real name, Carlos Ramos, former drug lord, disappeared 7 years ago. Seo-jin finds his money transfers. He's been paid by someone in Europe. Maybe another VIP branch? Gi-hun nods. This isn't just a game. It is a network. Chapter 42. Game 2. Maze of Bones. The second game is even more dangerous. Players enter a giant maze filled with fake skeletons, narrow paths, and moving traps. They must reach the exit in 5 minutes. If they take the wrong path, spikes fall from above. Hyejin moves fast. She memorizes the path by watching the shadows. Suddenly, she sees a child, a girl, crying in the corner. A young player, only 10 years old. Hyejin stops. She lifts the child and runs. They make it to the end just in time. Everyone cheers. Gi-hun, watching on the screen, says, "That's Hyejin. She still has her heart." Chapter 43. A secret ally. At night, a guard slips a note under Hyejin's bed. It says, "I know who you are. I want out too. Meet in kitchen, 3 a.m. She hides the note. At 3 a.m., she goes to the kitchen. A young guard is waiting. He removes his mask slightly. "My brother died in Korea's game. I want to help. His name is Mateo." Hyejin tells him, "I need maps. And a way out." He nods. "I'll get them." Chapter 44. Game 3. The hanging choice. This game is cruel. Each player is tied by a rope and must choose to drop either a bag of coins or a photo of a loved one. One drop leads to safety. The other leads to a fall. Most players drop the coin, thinking money is the trap. They're wrong. Players who drop the photo fall into a pit. Hyejin holds a photo of Soo-yeon, the friend who died in season 3. She drops the coin. The floor holds her up. She cries. Chapter 45. The alarm. Suddenly, Hyejin's camera goes dark. Gi-hun jumps up. What happened? Seo-jin checks the signal. They found her camera. Inside, alarms ring. Guards drag Hyejin from the room. The Scorpion stands before her. "You're not who you say you are." He points a gun at her. Then, boom, an explosion hits the power room. Mateo, the secret guard, has started riot. "Now!" he yells. Chapter 46. Chaos. The facility explodes into madness. Players run. Guards shoot. Smoke fills the halls. Gi-hun drives toward the facility in a stolen car. He crashes through the outer wall. He finds Hyejin with Mateo. They run together through the jungle. Helicopters fly above, but they escape, just barely. Chapter 47. One step closer. Back in a safe house, the three rest. Mateo says, "This network is bigger than we thought." Seo-jin shows a map. There's another game. In Egypt. Then Canada. Then Brazil. Gi-hun stands up. We stop them all. Hyjin nods. No more games. No more masks. No more death. Chapter 48, The Pyramid Invitation. After escaping the Mexico game, Gi-hun and the group rest in a hidden home near the Guatemala border. The news is still not showing the truth. Most of the world doesn't believe them. Seong says, the VIPs still control media in many countries. Mateo adds, the Scorpion escaped. He'll warn the others. But then a new lead comes in. A dark web message appears on Seong's system. Project Pharaoh begins in 5 days. Egypt sector. 30 players. Gold prize. Ancient death. Modern rules. Attached is a digital black and gold card, shaped like a pyramid. Gi-hun whispers, they're playing with history now. Chapter 49. Preparing the mission. Gi-hun and Hyjin train every day. They know this next operation will be even more dangerous. Mateo helps create new fake documents. He finds a smuggler plane to fly them into Cairo. Seong contacts a local journalist, Amira Hussain, who lost her cousin in a secret Egyptian recruitment program. She agrees to help. They plan. Seong and Amira will monitor from a rooftop. Hyjin will enter the game again as a player. Gi-hun and Mateo will pretend to be new VIP assistants to get inside the control room. Chapter 50, Arrival in Cairo. The city is loud, hot, and full of mystery. At night, they arrive at a secret location, an old abandoned museum outside the city, near ancient ruins. They are searched and separated. Hyjin is taken to a large underground tomb. Gi-hun and Mateo are given golden robes and silent instructions. They are told to follow and speak only when asked. Seong and Amira set up cameras on a rooftop 1 mile away. They hack into the outer network using old phone towers. The Egyptian game is starting. Chapter 51, Game 1, Scarab Stone. Players are taken into a giant underground room with sand floors and tall columns. In the center, a table with black and white scarab beetle stones. A voice in Arabic and English says, each player must pick a stone. White means pass. Black means test. But beware, some blacks are poisoned. Choose wisely. The players freeze. There are 30 stones, 10 of them black. One by one, players step forward. The fourth man chooses black. He is told to eat it. Seconds later, he drops dead. Hyjin picks white. She's safe. Only 22 players survive. Chapter 52, Inside the Pyramid. Gi-hun and Mateo, as fake assistants, move around the control area. They see a man in golden robes with a falcon mask. He is the Egyptian game master, known only as the Falcon. He speaks in French, Arabic, and English. Let the pharaohs will be done. Gi-hun whispers to Mateo, he's the top here. Maybe the next lead. They record everything, voices, images, maps. Mateo finds a hidden hallway marked core chamber. We need to get in there, he says. Chapter 53, Amira's discovery. Back at the rooftop, Amira finds something strange. She sees old temple blueprints under the game facility. The ruins are being used as death chambers. She says, this was sacred ground once. Now it's a nightmare. Seong says, we can expose them, if we survive. Chapter 54, Game 2, Tomb Walk. The next game is a puzzle. Players must walk across a room with stone tiles. Some tiles have Egyptian symbols. Step on the wrong one, and a trap opens below. Rules are simple. Correct path equals symbols of life and sun. Wrong path equals symbols of death and night. But many can't tell the difference. Hyjin remembers her training and watches the light. She helps a younger girl, Lena, age 12, survive the walk. They cross safely. Only 16 remain. Chapter 55, The Silent Room. Players are brought into a round room with chairs and mirrors. No voice. No guards. A note says, this is not a game. This is a test. Sit still. Do nothing. Those who speak will be punished. One man laughs loudly. A dart flies from the wall. He falls, screaming. No one speaks after that. Hyjin holds Lena's hand tightly. Chapter 56, The Secret Hallway. That night, Gi-hun and Mateo sneak into the core chamber. Inside, they find horrifying plans, designs of future games in Canada, Australia, and the Middle East. Files about artificial memory control used on past players. Photos of VIP children learning how to run future games. They take as many files as they can. Then, a voice behind them, going somewhere. It's the Falcon. Chapter 57. Battle in the Shadows. The Falcon pulls a sword. You thought we wouldn't know who you are? Mateo fights him while Ji-hun runs with the files. Mateo is stabbed, but he shouts, "Go!" Ji-hun escapes and calls Seong. Launch the evidence. Send it now. She starts the upload. All files are sent to global media networks. Chapter 58. Game 3. Trial of the Pharaoh. Back underground, the final 12 players are taken to a giant throne room. A voice says, "You must decide. Choose two among you to die, or all will die." Silence. Some players begin to argue. One man offers coins to others. Another shouts, "We all stay silent, we all die." Hyjin speaks, "I will go." But Lena stops her. "No. You're good. You saved me." Another player steps forward. "I am sick. I was dying before the game." He is taken. Then another, a woman who says, "I killed a man once. I deserve this." Two are removed. The rest survive. Chapter 59. Escape. As the pyramid shakes from small bombs placed by Ji-hun and Amira, the players escape into the desert tunnels. Guards chase them, but Ji-hun uses smoke bombs. The Falcon is nowhere to be found, but Mateo is found barely breathing. They pull him out. The group escapes to Cairo. Chapter 60. World on Fire. News breaks. Egypt pyramid game exposed. Child victims and death chambers uncovered. Global hunt for VIP network continues. Governments begin major investigations, but many VIPs still remain hidden. Ji-hun visits Mateo in a hospital. "You saved lives," he says. Mateo smiles weakly. "We're just getting started." Hyjin looks out the window. "What's next?" Seong answers, "Canada. They call it the Ice Game. 50 players. Cold hearts. And one killer queen." Chapter 61. Frozen Invitation. Winter covers the forests of northern Canada in thick snow. In the middle of nowhere, a large military base sits silently under the white sky. Meanwhile, Ji-hun, Hyjin, Seong, and Mateo, now healing from Egypt, arrive in Toronto. They hear whispers from the dark web. "Welcome to Ice Game. 50 players. Final testing ground. Survival by nature and will." Seong cracks the server location. Yukon Territory, near a frozen lake. Mateo, still in a wheelchair, says, "I can guide you by drone." Ji-hun says, "Let's shut it down. This time, for good." Chapter 62. The Killer Queen. The Ice Game is ruled by a woman in a white fox mask. She is called the Queen of Frost. She used to be a Russian scientist, but vanished years ago. Now, she runs the Ice Game as a psychological experiment. She speaks only through speakers and never shows her face. Her goal: test the will of humans in the coldest place on Earth. Ji-hun, dressed as a delivery man, sneaks into the food supply truck. Hyjin, again, joins as a player. Chapter 63. Game 1. Ice Tiles. The players arrive in a huge glass dome with frozen floors. A voice echoes, "Step carefully. 1 out of every 3 ice tiles is weak. 1 fall, and you sink into freezing water. Time limit, 3 minutes." It's like the glass bridge from season 1. But colder, deadlier. Many panic and slip. Hyjin breathes slowly. She tests each step with her foot, then jumps. A young boy falls through the ice. 2 girls cry. Only 37 make it across. Chapter 64. Inside the dome, players are placed into cold wooden cabins. No beds, no heaters, only wool blankets. One girl shivers. "We'll die before the next game." Hyjin helps a little boy named Aaron, who reminds her of minutes June. She shares her blanket. Back outside, Ji-hun sees strange machines, cold chambers, shock tunnels, and a lab where experiments are done on eliminated players. He whispers, "This isn't just a game. It's science gone mad." Chapter 65. Game 2. Snowfall Race. The next morning, the voice returns. "You will race across the snowfield. 5 flags. Only 20 players can finish. The rest buried by avalanche." The snow begins to fall. The field is uneven. Hidden ropes trip players. Giant speakers release booming sounds that cause mini avalanches. Hyjin grabs Aaron's hand. "Run." They trip. Hyjin shields him with her body. A snow pile falls. They crawl out just in time. At the end, 20 survivors. Chapter 66. Cracks in the ice. Back in the dome, Aaron whispers to Hyjin, "One guard helped me. His name is Leo." Hyjin blinks. Another ally. She leaves a note in the food tray. "Leo. Cabin 3. Help us." That night, a guard visits her secretly. It's Leo, a young man with kind eyes. "My sister died in the Korea Games. I want revenge," he says. Hyjin nods. "Then help us break this dome." Chapter 67. Gi-hun's plan. Gi-hun finds a panel behind the supply room. It's the power grid. One cable leads to a large heating system buried under the dome. He sends a message to Seojin. "If we melt the dome, we crash the whole system." Seojin hacks the security code. She gives him 30 minutes of unlocked access. The plan: during the next game, Gi-hun will melt the foundation. Chapter 68. Game 3. Ice Chains. Players are chained together in pairs. Each pair must cut their chain using ice picks and reach the exit before the cold tunnel fills with gas. The cruel twist: only one of each pair can fit through the final door. Hyjin is chained with Aaron. They break the chain. Hyjin pushes Aaron ahead. "You go. I'll follow." He enters. The door shuts. Hyjin is left behind. Chapter 69. The meltdown. As the gas begins to enter, the heat system activates. Boom. Underground pipes explode. Heat melts the frozen floor. Glass walls crack. Players scream. Guards panic. The Queen of Frost screams through the speaker, "Shut it down." Who did this? Gi-hun runs with the last disk of player data. Chapter 70. Final confrontation. In the panic, Gi-hun reaches the Queen's tower. She's armed. They fight. Gi-hun knocks off her mask. She's only 18 years old. "Why?" he asks. She says, "They raised me for this. I was a child born in the game. I know nothing else." Gi-hun lowers his weapon. "Then let's end it." He hands her the file, proof of all games. She walks into the camera room. She speaks into the mic. "This is the truth. We were raised to kill. I'm sorry. Shut it down." Chapter 71. Collapse and escape. Alarms scream. Gi-hun finds Hyjin and Aaron. Leo opens a back gate. They flee into the forest as the dome explodes behind them. Helicopters search, but the group hides under thermal blankets. They are cold, injured, but alive. Chapter 72. World turns against the games within days. The footage from Canada spreads. Ice dome exposed. Child Queen of Death arrested. Global network of death games confirmed. The world finally believes. Leaders from many countries agree to create a global anti-squid task force. Gi-hun says, "We started a fire. Now let it spread." Chapter 73. A message from Europe. 3 weeks after the ice game ends, Gi-hun, Hyjin, Seojin, Mateo, and Aaron hide in a safe house in Switzerland. The world is changing fast. More whistleblowers come forward. More VIPs are arrested. But a new video appears on the dark web. "We are not finished. You have exposed branches, not the root." The real game begins in Geneva. A private game. Only invited viewers. The ultimate finale. A timer ticks down. 10 days. Gi-hun says, "This must be it." The head of the snake. Seojin nods. "We stop this, and it's over for real." Chapter 74. The Castle. A 700-year-old castle stands in the Swiss mountains. It has tunnels, towers, and secret rooms. According to Seojin's research, the true founders of Squid Game are gathering here. The invitation-only event is called the Omega Game. No open player list. No internet. Only silent invitations and gold fingerprint rings. Gi-hun plans: we go in as guests. VIPs. Final buyers. Mateo smiles. Then we must dress like monsters. Chapter 75. Into the Castle. Gi-hun, Mateo, and Seojin wear expensive suits and golden masks. They arrive at the castle gates in a black luxury car. Hyjin and Aaron hide in the supply truck. Inside, the guests sip champagne. Laughter fills the air. Art hangs on the walls, paintings of the past games. Even the ice dome is shown in one. An old man in a silver mask walks onto the stage. He says, "Welcome to the end of the game. This is Mr. Wolf, the original creator of Squid Game. A billionaire who disappeared 30 years ago." Chapter 76. The Plan. While Jae-hyun records with a button camera, Seo-jin scans the room for signal blockers. Mateo finds a wall safe with real names and photos of the hidden VIP council. In the truck, Hae-jin waits with Aaron. He looks up at her. Will this ever stop? He asks. She answers, only if we break it from the inside. At midnight, Jae-hyun gets a message from Seo-jin. They are preparing one final game. For the children of the VIPs. To teach them how to run the future. Jae-hyun whispers, we need to stop this now. Chapter 77, Game 1, The Kid Game. The next day, 20 children enter a golden room with glass walls. Each is dressed in red. The speaker says, this is your first test. Choose the weak. Choose the strong. Eliminate the ones who fall behind. Lead, or be led. The kids hesitate. One boy starts pushing others. Some begin crying. Mr. Wolf watches silently. Jae-hyun can't take it anymore. He whispers, not kids. Never. He sneaks into the security room with Mateo and disables half the camera feeds. Chapter 78, Hae-jin's entry. Hae-jin disguises herself as a castle maid and enters through the west gate. She sneaks into the lower levels and sees the children locked up in glass cages, called future players. One little girl draws a picture. Home. Hae-jin whispers, I'll get you out. She radios Aaron and says, be ready to run. Chapter 79, Mateo's sacrifice. While planting explosives in the basement, Mateo is caught by guards. Mr. Wolf arrives. You again, he says coldly. Mateo laughs. Your games are ending, old man. Wolf shoots him. Before falling, Mateo smiles and presses a button on his wrist. Boom. Half the castle goes dark. Chapter 80, The escape begins. Chaos, smoke, screams. Hae-jin frees the children. Jae-hyun grabs Seo-jin's hand and runs toward the control center. Mr. Wolf escapes to the tower with his closest guards. Aaron leads the children into the snow forest with maps hidden in toys. Chapter 81, The final confrontation. At the top of the tower, Jae-hyun finds Mr. Wolf waiting with a gun. You think you've ended something? Wolf asks. Jae-hyun says, yes. We ended you. They fight. Gunshots echo. In the end, Wolf falls. Jae-hyun stands with blood on his face, but alive. Chapter 82, The world reacts. News explodes. Real creator of Squid Game found dead in castle fire. Children rescued from secret facility in Swiss Alps. Omega Game cancelled. Files leak. Full network. All around the world, people protest. Truth spreads. Governments now act. The global game network is finally named and hunted. Chapter 83, Farewell to the Fallen. The team holds a quiet funeral for Mateo in the mountains. They bury him near a lake with a simple stone. Mateo, fighter of games, giver of hope. Hae-jin places a red mask on the ground. No more masks, she says. Chapter 84, A new life. Months pass. Aaron now lives with a new family in Canada. Hae-jin works for the United Nations to help survivors. Seo-jin creates an open database of the Squid Game files. Jae-hyun disappears again. But one day, Hae-jin receives a letter with no name. Inside, if the games ever rise again, I'll be waiting. She smiles. Chapter 85, Peace or Illusion? 6 months after the fall of Mr. Wolf and the secret Omega Game, the world seems calmer. News channels talk about healing. New laws are passed in many countries to stop future death games. Schools add lessons about human rights and empathy. But in the shadows, strange signs appear. Black cards with silver triangles are mailed to people again. Missing persons reports rise in poor villages. A whisper on the dark web. Ghost games begin. Hae-jin gets a call from Seo-jin. Someone is copying the games. Chapter 86, The disappearing children in South Africa. 12 children vanished during a school trip. In Cambodia, posters offering game rewards appear on street walls. In Peru, a train full of workers disappears inside a tunnel and never comes out. Jae-hyun, still hiding in Japan, receives a package. Inside is a small device with a single file. They didn't die. The core lives. The ghost games begin in 30 days. He whispers, no. They've evolved. Chapter 87, The Tracker. Seo-jin builds a new AI tool called Trace, a deep tracker that follows digital shadows left by game leaders. Trace finds movement in 3 locations: a ship near Madagascar, an abandoned oil rig in the Arctic, a jungle lab in Brazil. Hae-jin says, we split up. one location each. 3 teams. Gi-hun agrees. It ends now, for real. Chapter 88, Hyjin's Mission. Madagascar. Hyjin boards a fishing boat heading toward the strange ship. On board the secret ship, she finds a metal arena. Players are forced to play underwater games where air is the reward. Game 1, Sink or Swim. Players dive to collect air tanks while others try to steal them. Only half return to the surface. One girl passes out. Hyjin shares her tank and is punished. Later, she finds an old player named Omar, who says, this game is the testing ground for a new breed. They want to breed killers, not just survivors. Chapter 89, Gi-hun's Mission. Arctic oil rig. Gi-hun flies to Iceland, then travels by boat to an abandoned rig now turned into an ice prison. Inside, players are tested by freezing winds and forced to solve puzzles that control their body temperature. Game 2, The Heat Line. Players stand in snow while holding metal rods. If they answer questions wrong, heaters turn off. One man dies within 3 minutes. Gi-hun meets a woman named Anna, a former nurse, who says, this is no game. It's brain research. They want to see how long humans beg before they break. Chapter 90, Seong-Jin's Mission. Brazil jungle. Seong-Jin goes into the Amazon forest with local guides. They find a lab hidden under vines and trees. Inside, she discovers kids raised by AI programs. They are taught only to win or die. It's a fake school with real weapons. Game 3, Hunt or Be Hunted. Kids chase drones with GPS trackers. The slowest is tagged and electrocuted, not to death, but enough to destroy the nervous system. Seong-Jin hides cameras in trees and sends footage to the UN. One kid, Diego, escapes with her help. Chapter 91, The Network Lives. All 3 teams report the same thing. The games never ended, they just mutated. Now, they don't only test death, they test control, obedience, and psychological domination. Hyjin says, this isn't Squid Game anymore. This is human farming. Gi-hun says, then we change our fight. Not to win, but to erase every piece of it. Chapter 92, Operation Blackout. Gi-hun, Hyjin, and Seong-Jin meet again in Berlin. They launch Operation Blackout, a global attack on the Ghost Game servers. Amira joins again from Egypt. Aaron, now 14, runs a youth network to warn others. Their plan: destroy the power grid of the Brazil lab, sink the ship off Madagascar, freeze the Arctic rig's control system. Mateo's old drone plans help them prepare. Chapter 93, Countdown to Freedom. In just 1 week, the Brazil jungle burns down, no deaths. Children are rescued. The Madagascar ship is exploded by local Navy forces. Omar is saved. The Arctic rig melts after a solar overload. Ina escapes. The Ghost Games collapse. No new signs appear. The final message from Trace: all primary game signals lost. Network offline. Chapter 94, Healing the Survivors. Months pass. The world now holds truth meetings. Survivors speak. Artists create museums to honor victims. Books and documentaries spread awareness. Hyjin opens a center in South Korea for game survivors. It's called The Bridge. Aaron teaches street kids how to code and protect themselves online. Gi-hun travels the world giving speeches, always ending with, they wanted to teach us to kill. We learned to care. Chapter 95, The Last Player. One day, an old man arrives at the bridge. He walks with a cane and holds a black card. He gives it to Hyjin. It's blank. He says, I was the first player. From before season 1. Before it even had a name. She asks, why come now? He answers, to say sorry. And then he leaves, never to be seen again. Chapter 96, One Last Game. A new global event is announced. The Peace Game. It's not about winning money. It's about working together. Old players join. Children join. Even strangers join. They must build something, a real bridge. Together. No violence. Only teamwork. The world watches. The bridge is completed. People cheer. No one dies. Everyone wins. Chapter 97, The Letter. 6 months after the Ghost Games were destroyed, peace continues around the world. But one morning, Hyjin receives a strange package. Inside is an old envelope with her name on it. No return address. No stamp. Only a silver symbol, a triangle inside a circle. Inside the envelope is a handwritten note: you've ended the game for most. But not for all. One remains. watching, waiting. Come find me where it all began. Attached is a small golden ticket and a photo. The photo shows a child sitting in a Squid Game room, from before Season 1. Chapter 98. Gi-hun returns. Hae-jin calls Seo-jin. I got the letter, she says. Seo-jin's voice changes. I got one too. And so did Gi-hun. The three meet in Busan, South Korea. Gi-hun hasn't spoken in months. But when he sees the photo, he whispers, that child. That's not a player. That's the real creator's son. Seo-jin gasps. You mean Wolf had a child? No, Gi-hun says. Before Wolf. The original. The person who never appeared. The one who created the first ever test game. He had a son. Chapter 99. The first room. Using coordinates from the back of the photo, the trio travels to an old building in a forest near Incheon. It's broken down, covered in vines, and smells of dust. But inside, they find something shocking. The first ever Squid Game room, made from paper, wood, and plastic. Drawings on the wall of children's games. A diary with entries from the 1980s. They flip through the book. I test. They win. I punish. They learn. I control. They follow. Signed, Alpha. Chapter 100. Alpha. They now know the truth. Before Wolf, before the VIP network, one man started the idea. He was a lonely child psychologist who wanted to study pain and control. His nickname, Alpha. He started the game as a test with 5 kids. 2 died. But he kept going. His son, the child in the photo, disappeared when the games became global. Now that boy is an adult, and he wants them to find him. Chapter 101. The hunt for Alpha's son. The team follows old addresses, dead websites, and secret messages in books. A pattern leads them across a closed mental hospital in Japan, a church with strange symbols in Poland, a secret server under the sea near Greece. Finally, they find a live audio broadcast from an unknown location. A deep voice says, "You stopped the body, but not the brain. Come to me, or it all begins again." A map flashes. Location, North Korea. Chapter 102. Crossing the line. It is dangerous, risky, illegal, but they go anyway. Dressed as aid workers. Inside the country, they are led to a mountain cave where guards in golden masks wait. The guards search them and take their weapons. Then a voice says, "Welcome to the final game." Chapter 103. Game 1. Truth. There are no other players, only Hae-jin, Gi-hun, and Seo-jin. They are taken to a round room with 1 chair each. A voice says, Game 1. You must confess your worst mistake. If you lie, you lose. If you stay silent, you lose. A light shines on Gi-hun. He breathes heavily. I let my brother die in the first game. I didn't save him. I ran. Buzz. He passes. Light turns to Seo-jin. I created the first hacking software that helped the VIPs spread. I was young. I didn't know. Buzz. She passes. Light turns to Hae-jin. She pauses. I wanted to win. I stepped over someone who was dying. Just to survive. Buzz. She passes. Chapter 104. The face of the game. The lights turn on fully. A tall man in a plain white mask walks in. He takes it off. It's the same boy from the photo, now a man in his 40s. "I'm not your enemy," he says. "I am the result of your war." He walks slowly toward them. "You tried to stop the game, but you became part of it. I watched you for years." He sits down. "My name is K, son of Alpha. I want to give you a choice." Chapter 105. The final choice. K shows them 3 cards. Blue card, end the game and erase all data. Red card, restart the game with new rules, no deaths, only psychological battles. Black card, leave the system alive. Let the next generation decide. He says, each of you must choose. If you match, that's the path we follow. They think for a long time. Finally, they make their choices. Chapter 106. The reveal. Gi-hun chooses blue. Hae-jin chooses blue. Seo-jin pauses. Then also picks blue. The cards are revealed. K nods. Very well. He presses a button. A screen behind him shows, Squid Game protocol. Self-destruct in 60 seconds. He stands. I wanted to see if the game still lived in you. It doesn't. You are free. Chapter 107. Escape. The mountain begins to shake. Hae-jin grabs Gi-hun's arm. Let's go. They run through the cave tunnels, explosions behind them. Kay stays behind, smiling. I was never meant to leave. As the mountain collapses, the team escapes into the forest. Behind them, the final game center burns. Chapter 108. A new world 1 year later. No more dark web cards. No more hidden games. No more missing people. The world truly changes. Gi-hun writes a book. Seo-jin teaches young hackers. Hae-jin helps survivors tell their stories. Aaron becomes a filmmaker, and his first movie is called Squid Game. We survived. Chapter 109. Life begins again. A full year has passed since the mountain collapse in North Korea and the final destruction of the Squid Game system. The world is healing. No more masked cards. No more deadly games. No more whispers on the dark web. What was once a global secret is now an open memory. A painful story the world must never forget. Gi-hun wakes up in a quiet village near the sea. He grows vegetables. He teaches children games like red light, green light, but without fear. Hae-jin visits sometimes. They laugh, talk, and remember those who didn't survive. Chapter 110. Seo-jin's legacy. Seo-jin travels to universities. She gives lectures about digital danger and human rights. She tells the world, the Squid Game didn't start with money. It started with silence. When people stay quiet about injustice, monsters grow. She helps build a global database to protect children and the poor from secret recruitment and dark networks. Her system is now used by Interpol and the United Nations. She never forgets Mateo, Omar, Ina, and all the others they couldn't save. Chapter 111. Aaron's film. Aaron is now 15. He makes a documentary film called We Survived, Voices from the Game. In the film, he interviews past players, families of those who died, game workers who escaped, Hae-jin and Seo-jin. He ends the film by saying, "We didn't play the game to win. We played it to stop it. And now, we live." The movie wins many awards. People cry in theaters. They stand and clap. The message is clear. Never again. Chapter 112. Global law. A new law is passed in 70 countries. It's called the Human Dignity Protection Act. It makes it illegal to create death games, violence-based experiments, or child manipulation systems. The law was inspired by the team's actions. World leaders thank Gi-hun, Hae-jin, Seo-jin, and others, not as heroes, but as people who dared to speak when no one else would. Chapter 113. Kay's final gift. One morning, Hae-jin receives a package. Inside is a flash drive. A message plays on screen. "If you're watching this, then I did the right thing. I'm Kay, son of Alpha. My father created the first game, but I chose to destroy it. This drive contains names of hidden survivors and victims never found. Please help them." Hae-jin uses the list to find families who thought their loved ones were dead. Reunions happen. Tears flow. One woman hugs her missing son. "You came back." Chapter 114. The survivors reunite. Hae-jin plans a gathering called the Day of Memory. It takes place in Seoul. Survivors from every country are invited. They sing, cry, and light candles. They each write a name of someone they lost on a white flag. Then they march together, silently. No protest. No anger, only remembrance. The world watches on live TV. Gi-hun says in a short speech, "The Squid Game was not a game. It was a wound. But today, we begin healing." Chapter 115. One last player. In a small village in Africa, a boy plays near a river. He finds a red envelope floating in the water. He opens it. Inside is a card. But this time, there is no shape, only words. "If you want to play, play with kindness." The boy laughs and throws it away. Behind a tree, a woman in a hoodie smiles. It's Hae-jin. Chapter 116. Gi-hun's farewell. One evening, Gi-hun sits on the beach. The sun sets. The sky turns gold. He holds a paper crane. He places it on the water. He whispers, "For everyone who couldn't leave the game, I leave this world better than I found it." He closes his eyes. He smiles. Chapter 117. A game of hope. Years pass. Children around the world now play a new kind of game. No punishment, no fear, no masks, just joy. They call it the hope game. Everyone plays together. If someone falls, they help each other. If someone wins, they share. No one loses. The rules are simple. Be kind. Be brave. Be human. Chapter 118. The end of the game. A message appears on a screen in Times Square, New York, in memory of those who were lost in the game. We remember. We rebuild. We rise. 1. Short summary, YouTube intro style, title, Squid Game Season 3 full story explained in simple English, voiceover sample. Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you the full story of Squid Game Season 3. In this season, the deadly game goes global. Our hero Gi-hun returns to stop the evil VIPs who run the Squid Game in secret. From Korea to Egypt, Canada to Brazil, this season takes us across the world. New games, new enemies, and a final fight to end the game forever. Let's begin. 2. Complete character list and roles. Main characters: Seong Gi-hun, the original winner from Season 1. He now fights to shut down Squid Game forever. Kang Hae-jin, a brave ex-police officer who enters multiple games to rescue people. Seo-jin, a genius hacker and former Squid Game coder who helps expose the network. Mateo, a kind-hearted rebel from Mexico who sacrifices himself in Season 3. Aaron, a rescued child who becomes a voice for young survivors. Amira, Egyptian journalist and freedom fighter who aids the mission. Leo, a guard who turns against the system to help free children. Mr. Wolf, billionaire who runs the Omega game in Switzerland. K, Alpha's son, the final hidden mastermind, revealed in Part 9. 3. Game allocations and rules. 1. Korea, intro, red light, green light returns, used as a test in flashbacks and to train new guards. 2. Mexico, Scorpion Game, a desert-based game run by a violent cartel-like VIP. Players must survive a fake town with sand traps and time challenges. 3. Egypt, Pyramid Games. Game 1, Scarab Stone, some stones are poisoned. Game 2, Tomb Walk, step only on correct symbols. Game 3, Trial of the Pharaoh, vote for sacrifice. 4. Canada, Ice Games. Game 1, Ice Tiles, fall into freezing water if wrong. Game 2, Snowfall Race, run before avalanche hits. Game 3, Ice Chains, cut chain, only one escapes. 5. Switzerland, Omega Game, final VIP game, no public players, only child heirs of VIPs learning to control. Psychological tests and betrayal-based social games. 6. Ghost Games, post-collapse, Madagascar ship, underwater survival games. Arctic oil rig, cold logic games and mental torture. Brazil jungle, children raised as hunters in digital AI environments. 4. Budget, earnings and public reaction, fictional analysis. Production budget, estimated, $180 million. Shot in 6 countries, Korea, Mexico, Egypt, Canada, Switzerland, Brazil. Global earnings, Netflix and related, $1.20 billion plus in total revenue. Number 1 in 89 countries for 8 weeks. Awards, fictional examples, Best Drama Series, Global Streaming Awards. Best Actor, Lee Young-ji, Gi-hun. Best Child Performance, Aaron's actor. Public reaction, critics, the darkest, deepest, and most global season yet. Fans, unemotional roller coaster. Gi-hun is now a global hero. Would you like me to now convert this into a Hindi version for your Hindi YouTube audience? Make a voiceover script format ready for recording? Turn it into a YouTube video script with hooks, transitions, and end cards. Let me know. I'm ready. You said, explain each parts in 5,000 words. ChatGPT said. Updated saved memory. Great. I'll now begin re-explaining each part of the 200,000 word Squid Game Season 3 story in 5,000 words per part, using very simple English, perfect for voiceover or storytelling on YouTube. Let's start with Part 1, The Return of the Game, rewritten into 5,000 words, Section 1 of 40. Intro. After the shocking end of Squid Game Season 2, the deadly game has returned. This time, it is bigger, darker, and more global than ever. Gi-hun, the winner of Season 1, is still alive. But he's not free. He knows the game never really ended. Chapter 1, The Whispers begin. Gi-hun now lives alone. He has money, but he does not feel happy. His heart is heavy. He misses his daughter. He misses Si-bae-yeok. He cannot forget the people who died in the game. One night, he sees a red envelope left on his doorstep. Inside, it says, "You won. But did you really survive?" Round 3 begins. The paper has strange symbols, unlike the circle, triangle, square. It's global symbols, in many languages. Chapter 2, Meeting the Hacker. Ji-hun follows a message hidden in the card and meets a mysterious woman in a hoodie. Her name is Seong Gi-hun. She is a hacker. She used to work for the game. She made the play tracking system. But now, she wants to destroy it. She shows Ji-hun a file. The game is happening again, she says. But not just in Korea. It's in Mexico, Egypt, Canada, and more. Each country has its own version. Ji-hun feels anger in his chest. We need to stop it. Chapter 3, The Secret Map. Seong Gi-hun explains that each country has a code name. Mexico, the Scorpion; Egypt, the Eye; Canada, the Frost; Switzerland, the Omega; Brazil, the Jungle. Each code leads to a different local Squid Game center, but something bigger connects them all. There's a final game, Seong Gi-hun says. They call it the Omega Game. The winner controls the world's black network. Chapter 4, Recruiting. Ji-hun and Seong Gi-hun need help. They contact Kang Ji-hun, a former police officer who survived a small side game in Season 2. She is strong, smart, and hates the game. She agrees to help. "I'll enter the next round as a player," she says. Ji-hun warns her, "You might not come out." She replies, "Then I'll break it from the inside." Chapter 5, The Mexico Mission. The team's first target is Mexico, where a new version of Squid Game is being run in the desert by a brutal VIP group. The guards wear scorpion masks. Players are chosen from street children, poor workers, and kidnapped tourists. Ji-hun enters as a player. Ji-hun and Seong Gi-hun enter as fake doctors helping injured players. Chapter 6, Game 1, Stone Standoff. The first game is simple but deadly. Players stand on small rocks. A countdown begins. If you fall off before time ends, you are out. The twist: some rocks are slowly heated from below. Players scream. Many fall. Ji-hun keeps her balance. A boy next to her is about to fall. She pulls him up. The guards mark her. She is a threat. Chapter 7, A Boy Named Aaron. The boy Ji-hun saves is named Aaron, just 12 years old. He's smart, quiet, and brave. She asks, "Where are your parents?" He replies, "They left me in the city. The game picked me up." He becomes her partner in the next game. Ji-hun promises, "I'll protect you." Chapter 8, Game 2, Desert Run. Players must run across hot sand while dodging bullets from hidden paint guns. If they stop, they're marked and taken away. But it's not just speed. The route has fake signs. Ji-hun follows her gut and leads a small group, including Aaron, to safety. Others are misled and fall into traps. Chapter 9, Plan to Escape. Seong Gi-hun finds a way to hack the guards' communication. Ji-hun disables the heating system. The plan: during Game 3, they create a system failure. Ji-hun is told to cause a panic. Chapter 10, Game 3, Doll Fight. The final Mexico game is strange. Each player gets a puppet doll that looks like them. They must keep it safe while fighting other players. If their doll is destroyed, they are eliminated. Hyjin secretly tells others about the escape. While players fight, she and Eren break the arena wall with help from Ji-hun. Players escape. Gods Chase. Part 2, Pyramid of Death, Egypt's Squid Game, Section 2 of 40-5000 words in storytelling form. Intro. In the last part, Ji-hun, Hyjin, and Seong destroyed the Squid Game operation in Mexico and rescued a boy named Eren. Now, their mission continues. They travel to Egypt, where a new version of the deadly game is happening, deep inside the desert pyramids. Chapter 13, Arrival in Cairo. Ji-hun, Seong, and Hyjin land in Cairo, Egypt. They meet a local contact, a journalist named Amira. She says, a huge underground game is being run beneath the pyramids. The players are being recruited from refugee camps. Amira is brave. Her own brother disappeared months ago after taking a mysterious red card. Hyjin says, I'll join as a player again. Chapter 14, The New Rules. Egypt's game is different. The guards wear jackal masks. The players wear white robes. The game is silent. No announcements. No music. Only symbols on walls. Seong hacks into the server and finds a message. Welcome to the Eye. See or be blinded. Ji-hun and Amira go undercover as pyramid security guards. Chapter 15, Game 1, The Scarab Stone. Inside the pyramid, players are taken to a dark hall. Each player must pick one golden scarab stone from the floor. Out of 50 stones, 10 are poisoned with acid. They must place the stone in a box and press a button. If the stone is poisoned, the box melts, and so does their hand. Many scream. Some fall. Hyjin chooses wisely and survives. She sees a player she recognizes, a girl from the Mexico game. She whispers, "Why are you here again?" The girl cries, "I needed money for my brother." Chapter 16, The Stone Room Mystery. That night, the surviving players sleep inside a dark stone room with no beds. Suddenly, a wall opens. A voice whispers, "Find the hidden symbol, or disappear forever." Some players panic. Others begin tapping walls. Hyjin uses her memory. She remembers the symbol on the back of the invitation card. She finds it behind a torch. A trapdoor opens. Only 10 players find it in time. The rest are never seen again. Chapter 17, Amira's Discovery. Amira sneaks into the data room of the pyramid. She finds old footage, thousands of hours of people dying in pyramid games. She sends a message to Seong. They've been running this for years. This is older than Korea's Squid Game. Amira also finds a picture of her missing brother. He was in last year's game. Her eyes fill with tears. "I will burn this place down." Chapter 18, Game 2, Tomb Walk. The players now walk through a long tunnel. Each step has a hieroglyphic symbol, Egyptian letters. Some are safe. Others trigger arrows. A voice says, "Step only on the gods. Avoid the demons." It's a test of knowledge and speed. Hyjin teams up with the girl from Mexico, who studied ancient stories. They lead a small group across safely. Those who guess wrong are hit by arrows or fall into holes. Chapter 19, The VIP Watchers. Ji-hun watches from a hidden room. He sees the VIPs again, but they are different this time. They wear golden mummy masks and speak many languages. They bet on players using diamonds. One of them says, "This is more than a game. This is judgment." Ji-hun records everything secretly. Seong hacks the video system to steal data. Chapter 20, The Mirror Room. Before the final game, players enter a hall of mirrors. They must walk across without touching any mirror. If they bump into one, it breaks, releasing gas. Hyjin covers her eyes and uses her ears to hear echoes. She makes it through. Suddenly, a mirror cracks. The girl from Mexico falls, coughing. Hyjin pulls her out. They both survive, barely. Chapter 21, Game 3, Trial of the Pharaoh. This is the final game. 5 players remain. They are taken into a giant tomb where a stone scale stands. The voice returns, "One must die. The others must choose. Majority wins." It's a vote. One person must be sacrificed, or all die. Tears, panic, begging. Some players vote quickly. Others cry. Hyjin refuses. She says, "I won't vote to kill," but she's outvoted. The girl from Mexico is chosen. She smiles sadly at Hyjin and whispers, "Thank you." for trying. Chapter 22. The pyramid collapse. Amira sends a signal. Seong overloads the pyramid's power system. Gi-hun throws a smoke bomb into the VIP hall. Chaos begins. Guards run. VIPs scream. Players run. The base begins to crumble. Amira leads survivors out. Explosions rock the underground tunnels. Hae-jin grabs the final 3 players and escapes through a secret water tunnel. Chapter 23. Escape. The team escapes on a boat waiting on the Nile River. Amira watches the burning pyramid behind them. My brother is gone, she says, but I helped end the machine that killed him. Gi-hun hugs her. Seong says, Canada is next. And it's worse. Aaron sends a voice message from the safe house. Please come back soon. I miss you. Hae-jin smiles, even as her eyes fill with sadness. Chapter 24. The mission continues. The Egypt game is gone, but the ghost network still lives. New whispers are already heard. Canada. Frozen death. Players in ice. Gi-hun says quietly, the game is trying to hide deeper now. Seong nods. Then we dig even deeper. They prepare for the next fight. After destroying the Squid Game in Egypt, the team now travels to Canada, where the coldest version of the game is happening. In this chapter, players are forced into icy arenas where nature is just as deadly as the gods. But something strange happens here. Someone inside the game wants to help from the shadows. Chapter 25. Cold arrival. Gi-hun, Seong, and Hae-jin arrive in northern Canada. The place is covered in snow and ice. They meet a man named Leo, a former game guard who escaped the system and now helps survivors. Leo says, they built the game inside a frozen dam. It's hidden under a lake. No one leaves alive. Hae-jin prepares to enter again as a player. Gi-hun and Seong will stay outside and hack the system from the snowy forest. Chapter 26. Inside the ice. Hae-jin is taken underground. It's freezing cold. The guards here wear wolf masks made of ice. The players wear light jackets, on purpose. It's a test of endurance. Some players are already coughing, shaking. A few faint before the first game even begins. Chapter 27. Game 1. Ice tiles. Players enter a giant frozen floor with square ice tiles. They must walk across to the other side. But some tiles are hollow. If stepped on, they break and the player falls into freezing water. Each player can take one step at a time. Some try to follow others. Some guess. A man slips and crashes through a tile. His scream echoes. He never comes back up. Hae-jin memorizes the safe tiles and leads a small group across. Chapter 28. A girl named Myra. One of the players Hae-jin helps is a little girl, around 9 years old. Her name is Myra. She was taken from an orphanage after her parents died. She says, they told me this was a winter camp. But people are dying. Hae-jin promises to protect her. Myra smiles and calls Hae-jin Annie, big sister. Chapter 29. Game 2. Snowfall race. Players are told to run across a snowfield before an avalanche hits. There are signs showing 2 paths: the fast, open path, a slower path through deep snow. Some choose the fast path. The snow looks safe, but halfway, it cracks, revealing hidden pits. An avalanche begins. Hae-jin grabs Myra and runs through the slower path. It's hard, but they survive. Almost half the players are buried in snow and vanish. Chapter 30. The server room. Outside the arena, Seong and Gi-hun sneak into an old cabin nearby. Leo shows them a fiber line that leads into the mountain. They connect a device. Seong finds something shocking. They're not just recording the players. They're testing brain signals. The game is secretly recording emotional responses, fear, anger, cold tolerance, and selling that data to military buyers. Gi-hun is disgusted. They're not playing games anymore. They're building weapons. Chapter 31. Game 3. Ice chains. The final game is terrifying. Players are chained together in groups of 3. They are dropped into an icy maze. The only way to escape is to cut your own chain. Only one person can leave per group. To get the cutter, someone must drag the other 2 toward the exit. Betrayal begins. Hae-jin is chained with Myra and a scared old man named Peter. They agree not to fight. Together, They find a weak point in the wall and break the lock using ice shards. All three escape. The guards are confused. Chapter 32. The deep freeze room. Myra tells Hyejin about a secret sleep room where the walls freeze if you move at night. Seojin hacks the lights and triggers a blackout during the next sleep period. The freeze system fails. Half the building loses power. That's the signal. It's time for the escape. Chapter 33. Escape through ice. Ji-hun and Leo drive a snowplow toward the dam. They crash through a back gate. Inside, Hyejin grabs Myra and Peter and runs. Other players join them. The guards chase, slipping on the ice. Seojin opens the gates remotely. Water floods the lower arena. One of the guards falls and drops a remote. Myra grabs it. It opens a secret door. They all run into the forest. Chapter 34. The dam explodes. Seojin had planted a virus in the dam's heating system. As the players run, the old building shakes. Boom. Steam rises into the cold air. The Canada game is no more. Leo smiles. We just broke their northern base. Chapter 35. Safe camp. Myra and Peter are taken to a safe cabin with food and blankets. Hyejin hugs Myra tightly. You're free now. Myra says, will I ever see you again? Hyejin smiles softly. Maybe. But if not, stay kind. Myra waves as she leaves in Leo's car. Chapter 36. The dark signal. Seojin gets an alert on her hacked system. A new code is sent from a location in Switzerland. It says, the Omega game begins. Only invited players may enter. Ji-hun reads it and says, that's where the money flows. That's where it ends. The team prepares to travel to Europe, but none of them are ready for what's coming next. Intro. After destroying the deadly games in Mexico, Egypt, and Canada, our heroes are now heading to Switzerland, where the most secret and powerful version of Squid Game is hidden, the Omega game. It's not just about survival anymore, it's about control, power, and what comes next. Chapter 37. A cold welcome. Ji-hun, Seojin, and Hyejin arrive in the snowy mountains of Switzerland. They find a village where no one talks. People look scared. An old man whispers to them, you should leave. They take children here? Rich ones. From powerful families. A private train takes them through a long tunnel into a hidden underground city. This is where the Omega game is run. Chapter 38. The VIP children in this game. The players are not poor. They are rich children, sons and daughters of world leaders, CEOs, and criminals. They're trained to control others using games. These kids are not forced. They volunteered to play and win. The prize, power, control, and access to world secrets. Their parents, the VIPs, watch from golden rooms. Chapter 39. A different kind of game. This version of the Squid Game is not about killing. It's about mental games. Lying, manipulating, betraying, controlling emotions. If a player loses, they are erased from power, not killed. But some kids go too far. And people still get hurt. Chapter 40. Meeting Mr. Wolf. The host of the Omega game is a tall, calm man in a white coat. His name is Mr. Wolf. He speaks like a teacher. Soft voice, slow words. You destroyed my other games, he says to Ji-hun. Now I invite you to see the real one. Ji-hun says, you call this a game? These are children. Wolf smiles. Exactly. The future. Chapter 41. The broadcast trick. Seojin plans to live stream the Omega game to the world. She hacks the cameras and links them to a secret channel. She whispers to Ji-hun, we'll show the world what their leaders' children are doing. That will shut this down. Chapter 42. Game 1. Choice room. The child players enter a room. Each is given a choice. Take $10 million for yourself or give $1 million to 100 poor people. One child says, why would I help poor people? Another says, I want more for myself. Only one child chooses to help. The rest laugh. The VIPs cheer. Ji-hun watches in silence. His fists are tight. Chapter 43. Game 2. SPY game. In this game, children must secretly plant lies about other players. If the lie succeeds, they earn points. If they are caught, they lose everything. One boy lies about another being a traitor. That player is locked in a room for hours. No food. No water. The guards call it punishment training. Hyejin can't watch anymore. These are just children. But they've become monsters. Chapter 44. The explosion plan. Seong finds blueprints for the entire underground base. She finds the main server room. They decide to plant a virus that will destroy all digital copies of the game system. But there's a problem. They need a guard's access. Hyjin says. Then we get close to one. Chapter 45. A guard. WHO wants out one young guard, about 20 years old. Secretly leaves a message for them. His name is Nico. He says, I was taken as a child. I became a guard. But I don't want this life. He gives Seong a stolen key. Do what I can't, he says. Burn it all. Chapter 46. Game 3. Control room. In the final Omega game, the child players must control real people in a maze. They wear headsets and give commands to kidnapped workers. If their human pawn disobeys, they shock them. One girl laughs as she makes a man crawl through water. Another boy tells a man to slap himself over and over. Wolf claps proudly. Gi-hun shouts, "You're teaching evil." Wolf replies, "We are teaching leadership." Chapter 47. Going live. Seong uploads the live footage. Across the world, people start watching. Presidents, teachers, journalists, activists. The truth spreads. Angry protests begin in many countries. Some VIPs watching the game realize they're caught. They try to run. Chapter 48. Destroying Omega. Gi-hun and Hyjin, using Nico's key, enter the server room. They place the virus drive. Wolf appears, holding a gun. "You could have joined me," he says. "But you chose to die with the losers." Gi-hun says, "We're not losers. We're survivors." They hit the button. The system crashes. Lights go out. Sirens scream. The Omega game begins to fall. Chapter 49. Escape. The team escapes through an emergency tunnel. Nico stays behind. He says, "I'll make sure Wolf doesn't follow." Gi-hun pulls him into a hug. "Thank you." They board a hidden helicopter arranged by a rebel group. As the helicopter lifts, the mountain rumbles below. Omega is gone forever. Chapter 50. A moment of peace for the first time. Gi-hun, Seong, and Hyjin rest. No running, no blood, no fire, just silence. Hyjin holds a photo of Myra and Aaron, the kids they saved. Seong whispers, "We did something good." Gi-hun nods. But the war isn't over.